So here we are again with another video for Netelligence. This is client version 0.22. I'm going to show you some of the new features that I've put in. They're not particularly exciting at the moment. First of all, we have the tabs on tab window. If I go to the client roadmap, you can see as items load on the web browser, it now glows green because it lets you see if something's loading or not, which was actually quite useful. The tabs are a slightly different system now, so I can have images in the tabs, still not set up yet with anything that's exciting other than a world, but every app will have its own tab, and you can actually slide and change the order of the tabs as you so wish. Now it doesn't save the order yet, we're getting there though. Some of the other features that are quite useful is you can actually change the location of the tab window as well. So if I just close that down, let's change the settings now. I can have the tab location on the top bar and I can update that, which means that now when I open an application, fingers crossed, they now will appear at the very top next to the name of the project rather than a separate line, just to give you that little bit extra space, especially if you've got a widescreen monitor. What else has been changed? Well, there's a couple of other things. Let's open a tab which will actually open, because some of them don't in the way that I wanted to. Say you've got a text file. Hello, hi there. Doing some work on the tab. Originally it all said new text file at the top. You can now change the title on tab to anything you like, so some text, so that it's nice and easy to find different notes at different places. If you double click on the tab, it opens into full screen mode as well, so it hides everything that you might be doing. You can focus on one task, you just hit escape and it automatically then moves back to tab mode. The only thing that doesn't work at the moment is the web browser, because there's a bug in Chromium itself when you refresh the screen and change it to being full screen that means that the web page doesn't then appear. So I'm going to look at doing some work on that might make it work a bit better. The browser can download files, which is again a huge benefit. Also, we now have Google search, so you type G and then what you want to search, and it then searches Google automatically. And if you don't want to use Google and you want to use Bing, you can do B, what you want to search. And this is actually built as a system which anyone can add extra items to. I think I've done Internet Movie Database as well. Let's think of a film like The Matrix. No, it wasn't. It must be IMDb. If you want to see what the commands are, you just type list commands, and it will automatically then show you what the searches currently are. Again, very basic at the moment. Oh, there you go. L is for LinkedIn, IMDb is for Internet Movie Database, and YT for YouTube. So IMDb, The Matrix, and it makes life a bit easier for you. As I say, these are actually written in such a way that new items can be added and downloaded to your own browser. You can create your own ones in the same way as you can create your own applications for Netelligence as well. So it's starting to become a more usable system, certainly. There's a menu for the tabs, which isn't in use at the moment, but we'll be doing some fun things before version 0.3 is released. Which is quite useful, I suppose. There's also another very basic file manager being started. As you can see, it shows all your different drives that you've got, and different folders that you might have. So you might go into My Documents, there you can show it all. It's very messy at the moment. I can change the size though, but I can't remember how I set to change the size. How did I do it? Oh, I think this is the older version that I've not updated yet on the... Yeah, I've not updated this one on the actual computer I'm on at the moment. There is a way of having it in different styles and not having to have it look quite as bad as this, and I'm working on ways of actually improving this. But the idea is that this will become the file manager program, and you can have things like you can select Opening new tab doesn't actually work yet because I've not actually set that. But another change actually that I haven't mentioned yet is the share button. Instead of everything being on the share button now, if you just right click on the menu, you can then do the pin to write, send. This isn't working yet on copy to, but eventually that will be working as well. But this is all working at the top here. So as you can see, I can close this tab and send it to another project window, another computer I'm logged into, one of my group members, another machine on the network, another personal network if they're logged in, and I'll be able to do the same thing with the copy to as well, and I can actually copy it directly to the entire group as well. At the moment I have to go onto the actual group member, but what will actually happen on the copy to is I'll be able to click on the group and it will send a copy to every person in the group as well. So the share button will actually be used for the projects and not for the individual tabs. So it's starting to take shape. So there's still a lot of work to do. File Manager, just to explain what's going to go on with this. This is going to be a truly different File Manager to the ones you see in things like Windows. You'll be able to manage your backups and things in here. You'll be able to set colour folders, and you can view just the colour folders that you want to view. So you'll be able to do things like as a deadline comes, you can pin certain items to being set for a certain date, so then as they approach the date you can still find them, but as soon as the date's passed it can then delete them automatically from the pinned items, all sorts of other things, having access directly to all your drives and things in a different way. There's a lot of work to be done, but this will hopefully be a much more useful file manager program than currently most file manager programs are. Something else that I've just suddenly thought that I've not shown on here either, yet another feature that is kind of useful. If I go to, I don't know, let's go to news.bbc.co.uk, anything you like. We just have the local elections. If I go to a web page, I can take the text that you. Oh, that's actually got automatic finding anyway. If I take some text, I can click and drag it into a text window. I can do the same thing with text files, so I can click and drag a text file straight into the text window, and it just inserts that text file into the text of that window, which is quite useful as well. The next video will probably show, hopefully, some of the new changes I've been making to another part of the system, which is hopefully coming up soon. I'll put it on the beta because it's already on the beta, and that is a terminal system which is going to be used for the Netelligence scripting language. As you can see, there's a few scripting applications available, commands. Again, these commands are actually can be added as needed for different programs, etc. And you can use this system to either build your own HTML scripts, there's a special scripting language, or you can use terminal mode. At the moment a lot of it is quite boring, but you can do things like, I don't know, if we do command detail, I can find out all the details about every command. Let's get rid of the list of commands, we don't need that anymore. If I use clear first of all, so it clears the list of commands on the screen, you can do a list of orders. As you can see, this is all the different commands that are currently in use. Version histories are available, how you actually use it, so usage of each one. So for example, if I clear the screen and use debug tree, I can actually do some debug code to find out what is actually in the system and what's being said. If I use list commands, that then obviously shows all the commands. It doesn't clear the output from the terminal unless I use clear, which is quite useful. I'll show you the difference between write and write line. I can write hello, and that will just add it underneath. If I now write hello again, which I could have just done by hitting rerun previous, it runs next to it, it's not on a single line. Write line, hello, then we'll put the hello at the end and then add a new line, so the next write hello is underneath. If you want to clear the line, just add write line and that creates a new item. Some of these actually allow you to do multiple items in like an array as well, but I'll go into that in a bit more detail in another video when I'm actually talking about the programming language and how it all works with everything else on this system.